at the last vegan. So, what is the Christian life? For me, what the Christian life is, how you walk every day, how you represent God's, what He has for you. And I figured out that the Christian life's not so easy as everyone says it is. It's like a commitment. It's like a sports commitment. It's like a school commitment. Or if you're going to a job after high school, it's just a commitment. What are the characteristics of a Christian life? You can't be afraid to share His word with people who don't want to hear it. At least give it a shot. Because if you give it a shot, maybe you'll encourage them to do what God knows what they can do. If you're living a Christian life, what will your behavior be like? Your behavior will be like, it won't be perfect, but you'll be at least somewhat confident in yourself. You'll have someone on your shoulder constantly, there to talk to you, there to help you through it. But it's harder than it looks. I struggled for years to walk the Christian life, to follow it. I was struggling with it a year ago, walking the Christian life, trying to figure it out, battling pornography, battling suicide. Always just battling through it. And it's not simple because I despise coming to church. I really didn't want to be here, especially after what happened 2 years ago, my sophomore year. I didn't want to be in a church at all. I couldn't stand it. Just the fact of coming into a church teed me off more than I could even imagine. Because I felt like no one cared. But finally, the first vegan I served on, I was serving on worship team. And it just finally broke me when I gave the ideals talk that church isn't as bad as it looks. The Christian life will prepare you to fail, prepare you to grow, and it will try to break you down constantly. But you have to be mentally strong in yourself to push through when you fall. Because if you just give up and just blame God for everything, you're not going to get anywhere. Never. And I figured it out myself. One verse that sticks to me, Jeremiah 33:3. Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not. What that verse means to me is that God is always there for you no matter what it says. You can call on Him at any time, any place, and anywhere, and He'll eventually answer. It may not be the answer you want it to be, but He'll eventually answer. One characteristic I have written down here is mature. And there's so many Christians at my school nowadays that say they're Christians, that say, yeah, blah, 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 I do this, I do that. But I know them outside of school. They're not that person. They go around, they hang around the wrong people, they do things they're not supposed to. Heck, they even treat one of my good friends like crap every day. And they want to say they're a Christian. No. You might say you can go to church, you might you say you go to church, you might sing at church, or you might play drums or piano, whatever. But you have to mentally put yourself there and put your heart there. You can't just say it and then not act like it. I'm not mature in my Christian life all the time. My mom and dad can admit, I don't want to forgive my classmates ever. Not once in a day, but that's not the Christian life. God wants you to forgive so He can forgive you of what you've done wrong. Another one I've written down is joyful. Ever since I started to actually walk the Christian life, I've never had a smile on my face. Like playing cajon or playing drums with Buddy, I'm smiling constantly because I'm happy doing it. I'm happy doing what I love to do, is that's playing music for God. But it's hard sometimes when you hit rock bottom because you don't know what to do, you don't know where you're at, and you're just like, what do I do? Do you break your characteristic and what characters God has put in you to follow, or do you go by them? And it's a hard decision to make because for me, it was either, do I want to make my friends happy or do I want to make God happy? And I'm a people pleaser. I don't know any other way but to make other people happy. And it really took a toll on me after a while. I got addicted to pornography for months on end. I would just find ways to watch it constantly. And then it took a toll on my mental health and I got depressed. And I started to cut myself over and over and over again. It didn't hurt. I mean, it hurt, but I thought it was doing something, but it really wasn't, besides just leaving marks on me. And even I could tell God was trying to get me out of it, trying to force me to just own up to my mistakes, but I couldn't. Because really, I didn't want to. Suicide is a big deal. I hear kids say it all the time in my school, how they get bullied so much, or they'll come to me because it's the same group every time picking on kids and doing all of this. Just come to me and be like, I'm done. And it's just like, I know where you're at because I feel the same way. I get picked on for my size, for my ADHD, my learning disabilities. I get picked on it constantly. But I have to let God take care of it and not me. One question I have for y'all, and I just want y'all to think on it. Are you walking the Christian life? Are you walking the characters that God has placed set in front of you every day? It's hard to do it every day, but like, are you trying to walk it? Also, do you feel like you want to serve anytime, like even in your lowest valleys? Do you want to try to serve God? Do you want to try to make an impact on others by sharing His light? I know I don't. When I'm at my lowest valleys, it's hard because I don't know how to do it when I'm rock bottom deep in everything and I'm trying to find my way out. It's hard to turn to God and let Him get you out of it. One thing I said at the VN weekend, and it was that even though you get told all the time, like, even though God tells you no on some things, or that you get disappointed about something, there's always a reason for it. There's reasons why either God will tell you no, or if your kids, your parents will tell you no. It will happen for the best reason for you. I figured that out with cars. I've been without a car, well, not without a car. We just haven't had a third vehicle since I got into my car wreck December 7th. But it showed me like I just have to persevere through not having a vehicle some days because my dad needs it, or right now not having a vehicle because it doesn't have brakes and we have to get it fixed. I just have to live with it. It's not my problem. And going through these things, I have to still realize that I still am looked up on by younger kids or by underclassmen to still walk the Christian life. And I didn't realize that being a senior, that so many people will look up to you and try to see what wrong you're doing so they can call you out on it. I'm going to go back to one point. What is the real Christian life? I didn't really base on this much because I really didn't know what to say. But does it grow on you? Most definitely it will grow on you. It takes time and it takes effort, but it will grow on you. How it grows on you, you may not like it because it's cold and honest and it's brutal sometimes. But you just gotta get over it and be like, if you really want this, persevere through it and get through it. I was told by one of my coaches this week, Thursday, at half during my game against Academy of God, I told him I was hurting, and he said, "Get over it. You gotta keep playing." And when I went back on the field, I was just like, "How am I going to keep playing? Like, what can I do?" And I was already somewhat down on myself because we were down to 1, and I just asked God to help me, and I'm pretty sure I played the best second half of my life. And it was just crazy to me because I walked off the field after he tied with him, and my coach goes, "I'm pretty sure that's your best game, second half I've ever seen you play." And I was like, "It's not me doing it." I asked God to do it because it was either that or I was just going to give up. That really made me realize Thursday, like, it's growing on me slowly but surely. It's been growing on me for the past 2 years, but I can't really stop it growing. I've tried to stop it growing, but it won't do it because I've invested myself so much into VN and into here playing drums in church and trying to get my life straight. Like, when I hit rock bottom, it's like you're stuck with it, or I'm stuck with it. How will you love other people when you hit rock bottom walking the Christian life? I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know, even for me, how to love other people when I hit rock bottom, because I haven't figured it out yet. If someone in here knows how, I would love to hear it so I know how. But it's so hard when I'm upset or I'm angry at my parents and they try to love on me. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. But in the real matter of it is, they love on me because they love me. And that's the same way with God. Even when you're upset with them over something that's happened, or you lose something, or you get fired from a job, and you ask him why, he has the reason for it. I want to close with this. If you ever have a time in your life where you hit rock bottom and you want to give up and you try to give up, just know Satan wants you to give up. Because as soon as you give up, he'll just drag you right back down to where you want to be. So my final point is this. Find out what your Christian walk is. That's my talk.